For questions 1 to 10, complete the sentences with a word or short phrase. If we hadn't ignored the warnings,
more and more people are becoming concerned about pollution and the effects it is having on our climate and environment. It is no good thinking, I wish we hadn't polluted the atmosphere, or if only we had been aware of the possible problems earlier. Even as individuals, we know that if we want to avoid future problems, we have to prevent actions that increase the destruction of our planet. On a national level too, if countries want to preserve the natural beauty of their countryside, they need to create national parks and protected areas. Scientists, politicians, and environmentalists are helping to explain what we can do if we want to prevent further destruction. But what about nature's own destructive abilities? There are times when nature itself seems to turn against us. In just 1 year, for example, the United States has had unprecedented heat and devastating drought. Tornadoes have hit towns, while massive rivers overflowed. The ground shook in places like Colorado, where earthquakes had never happened before. Recently, a strong quake even caused tsunami warnings in Alaska, while Arizona and New Mexico suffered terrible wildfires. Is this normal? Not completely. In fact, scientists and weather experts claim that there could be human causes to explain the increase in climate extremes. I think this year has really been extraordinary in terms of natural catastrophes, says climate expert Andreas Schrast. One of the most noticeable weather extremes was the record high nighttime temperatures, comments Tom Carl, director of the National Climatic Data Center. That shows that the country wasn't cooling off at night, which both the human body and agriculture need. These events must be considered abnormal, although it's part of an ongoing trend we've seen since 1980. If we had started to study these phenomena sooner, we might not be in this position now. The States is not the only place in the world to have suffered from climate change. There were devastating events elsewhere, such as the earthquake and tsunami in Japan, Australia's flooding, and a drought in Africa. It's no good thinking it can't happen in my country, as most experts agree that if we want to avoid finding ourselves in extreme conditions, we need to limit the amount of global warming. Weather disasters can't all be directly attributed just to global warming, however, although it is certainly an important factor in the magnitude and the number of extreme events. But if the hurricanes and tornadoes can't all be attributed just to climate change, the heat waves and drought certainly can. Talk of avoiding catastrophic climate change is now very familiar, and experts insist that unless action is taken over global emissions, there could be a temperature rise in the region of 4 degrees. If there were such a rise, it would leave large parts of Africa and the Mediterranean without water, and food production could be decimated. Increased temperatures over time would cause polar ice caps to melt and sea levels to rise to the point where whole island nations might disappear. Is it inevitable? No, it's not. But if we had done more to prevent global warming in the past, the present situation wouldn't be as bad. Let this be a lesson to us to do more and not allow the situation to get worse. As the experts say, the disasters are just a warning.